Hello everyone. Welcome to my Facebook Live. I'm April Davis. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up and I live in Lewisburg, Kansas. Tonight is Thursday, June 20th. It's 7 p.m. And again, this is my Facebook Live, so thank you for joining me. I don't have my little iPad that I normally have up to be able to see whether or not I've actually gone live, so I really need your help. You need to say hello so that I know that you're there and that I'm not just talking to myself tonight. I know that there's a little bit of lag time, so I'm just going to kind of wait for the lag time to pass through, and then hopefully somebody will say hello. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going and we'll see what happens. Again, this is Thursday night, and I'm actually going to start with sharing my screen with you. This is a live. Next week, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be in Boston for my corporate job. So I've recorded the live for next Thursday already. So if you happen to see next week's live and it looks the same as this week because I'm wearing the same clothes, same background, it's just because I recorded earlier this evening. And so I wanted to make sure that while I am in Boston, that you guys still have the opportunity to experience the Facebook Live and To Go class. I love being with you guys every week. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to bring up my screen. Again, I don't know if I'm live or not, so please, if you're there, please say hello. I want to remind you that Stampin' Up! Has an incredible sale going on right now, 10% off of all bundles through the end of the month. So we've got another week to go with it, but next week when you see it, we're coming right on the end. So it's getting close to the end of June, which is just crazy to me. But if you haven't had a chance to take advantage of the special, please do take advantage of it. And it's not just the bundles, it's also the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. So both the large and the small. So be sure to take advantage of that if these are on your wish list. Additionally, I'm going to take you to my website. I want to talk about the Fusion Fest technique class that I'm doing with Tina, the Northern Stamper in Canada. We're doing this September 27th, 28th, and 29th. I know we've got a bit of ways to go, but we want to make sure that everybody's aware of it and can get registered. Early registration has expired, but that doesn't mean that you can't register. You can still register. It's a full weekend of techniques. It's 40 plus techniques. So much fun prepping for this class. It'll be over 3 days. It's going to be on Facebook, and so you'll have an opportunity to go in and check out all the posts, and we've just got a fun weekend planned for you. But the nice part about it is you don't have to be present like the entire time. You can come back and forth. We'll send you a kit. Registration closes September 1st, and then the kits are going to ship approximately September 13th so that we can make sure that we've got those kits available to you in time. And in those kits, you're going to get approximately $50 worth of products and tools, supplies, the tools, everything you need to create the techniques that we're going to be teaching you, plus a lot of fun stuff. So please do go out to my website. I'm going to put up my website address, aprildaviscreations.com. You'll find in classes, if you go down to Crafting Crossroads, that's where you'll find the registration for the technique class. But I also want to remind you that today is a to-go class, so you can find all the information that you need for the to-go class here on my website. If you like the cards that I've made tonight and you want the kits, then please do reach out to me and let me know by placing an order in my online store. We have a host code that you will utilize, and this host code is on the is on my website. So you don't have to write it down right now if you don't want to. But what that tells me when you utilize the host code when you place your order is that you're interested in the to-go kit. And sometimes there are technical difficulties. So if you can't get through with the host code, just send me an email and let me know. I've had that happen several times. Just send me an email and I'll make it right for you, and we'll get that kit cut and in the mail to you. All right, let me take this information down, and I'm going to come back to you guys. Let me take this down, I think. And I'm going to go this way. Very good. Okay, awesome. So tonight we are focused on the, what do I want to say? The Full of Life suite, but it's really the Friends for Life bundle. So let me go ahead and bring this up and show you in the catalog. It's on pages 42 and 43 in the catalog. But I wanted to show this to you because you've got, with the suite, you've got the stamps, you've got the dies, you've got the embellishments, you've got the ribbon, and you've got all this paper. And the paper is a 6x6 pad of paper, but this paper is it's crazy paper. There's so much color to it, and there's so much you can do with it. I really like the back side of these papers too. I love to do scenic views, especially with like silhouette stamps. So not only do you have the front that you can play with, and we're actually going to be working with the, I'm going to call it the sunbeam papers, but you've got this beautiful background as well. So let me go through this really quickly. Again, if you're watching, please do just say hello so that I know that I'm live, because I don't have any way to check that right now. So I could potentially be talking to myself and you guys aren't seeing me. So let me go through this a little bit faster. Lots and lots. Oh, look at this rainbow. Oh my goodness. How fun is that? More blends on the back, more rainbow colors, starbursts or sunbursts. Anyway, this is the Full of Life Designer Series paper. So that's what we're going to be utilizing tonight. The Full of Life Designer Series paper and the Friends for Life stamp set and bundle. So let me pull this off to the side, and I'm going to show you the cards that we're going to be making. This is card number 1. This is Thinking of You. And then we've got Best Friend. And then we've also got Hi Friend. So I am going to change these up just a teeny tiny bit. You wouldn't expect anything less, right? But let me bring the kits out. I'm going to move this off to the side for just a second because I want to show you that what I did is I combined the cards. And what I mean by that is when I went to go cut out my circle, then I had basically this piece left over. If we turn it the way that it's supposed to be turned, we have this piece, and then we have these edges, which are go this way. So basically what I did is I decided to do my wheel that's going to go on this card, but then this outer border part is going to go on this card, and then I'm going to use this as an edge for it. So I'm kind of doing 2 cards out of one piece of cards or designer series paper, if you will, which is really actually kind of fun that you can do that. So I basically took what was left over from the card that I was making and decided to utilize it even more, the paper. So let me pull this off to the side for just a second because this is the other card. We're going to focus on this card. And if I bring that kit in, let's see, I have it here. I created the first one in black, and I decided that I just felt like the black was I don't know, I wanted to try a different color, bottom line. I think that colors pop off of black, but I thought I'd try something different. So tonight we're going to make the same card, only we're going to use the blueberry bushel cardstock. And I thought that this would be really pretty on the blueberry bushel. And then I also did the best as well. I stamped it in the blueberry bushel. And then the friend was also die cut, and I'll show you guys this, but it was die cut out of the blueberry bushel as well. So we're going to start to assemble all of this, but before we do that, I want to show you how I stamped out the best. I went ahead and did it ahead of time, just to save us some time. But basically what I did is I took my Stamparatus. Now, the Stamparatus is no longer available. I'm so sad that we do not have the Stamparatus anymore. It's a great positioning tool. And what I did with this particular card is I took my bust, my stamp, and I put my cardstock down, and I'm just going to kind of line it up. I'm lining it up on grid paper so that it goes back to the same place every time. But I took the bust and I laid it down on my cardstock. Closed this up and then inked it up with my blueberry bushel, stamped it. All right. The way that the Stamparatus is created is this can come out. So I moved it down one spot, stamped it, or inked it again and stamped it. Went down one spot, inked it up again and stamped it. So I was able to do this numerous times. Now, if you don't have a Stamparatus, there's other ways that you can be able to do this. And what you might consider is finding a place for your stamp set to go. If you've got two corners, you might maybe take it down to the end. I'm just thinking out loud right at the moment. And you can use your cardstock, put your stamp in the same place each time, but line it up, and then you can move your cardstock down and stamp. And if you're using grid paper, you can do that. So there's different ways that you can be able to do that. And maybe I'll do a demo on something other than Stamparatus, just because I know not everybody has it. But oh my gosh, if you guys have it, or if you have a stamp positioning tool, it comes in so handy for a lot of things. So anyway, I went ahead and stamped my best. And now let's go ahead and start to build this card. So first of all, I'm going to take my basic white cardstock and fold it in half, and we're going to go ahead and burnish it. Nobody has said hello yet. I certainly hope I'm live. I hope. Okay, I'm going to turn my card this way, and I'm going to adhere my blueberry bushel to the cardstock. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Get this glued down. All right, once we have that down, now we can start to build it. So the way that I cut these circles is I used the Spotlight on Nature dies. These dies are so fun. If you have the opportunity to get them, please do. The first card I did with this large die that cut out the little flowers along the edge. This time around, I cut out the circle with this die that actually puts like little bitty cuts into it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it puts in little cuts around the edges. So that's the one that I'm going to use for the card tonight. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this down first and just kind of lining it up to see where I want it to be. And then I will put my my glue on the back. I was mesmerized by this splash of color that's back here. That's the only tough part about designer series paper that's two-sided, is sometimes both sides are so pretty that you just don't want to, mess either one of them up. All right, let's go ahead and get this down. I've got this right where I want it. Now I'm going to take the bust, and I'm going to put the bust over to the side, and it's going to overlap my wheel just a little bit. All right, and we'll set this up centered as best we can on both sides. I think my glue slipped a little bit, so I'm going to line this up a little bit more. All right, right here. And now what's fun with these dies, and I'm going to bring these back out because these are fun dies, is you have the friend shadow, and then you also have the friend, which is the main word, right? And so basically what I did is I cut the shadow out in blueberry bushel, and then I cut the main word out in white. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take my glue and my precision tip, and I'm just going to put a little dots of glue along the edges of this. I don't want to get too much. I don't need too much, and little dots will be just enough, but it keeps the glue from, popping out from behind the word. I don't want any more of a mess than I have to. So we'll go ahead and get this adhered down, and I'm going to move this off and start to line it up appropriately. There we go. And then I can move it around a little bit if I need to. But actually, I think I did a pretty good job of that. Now, one of the things that I want to do that I didn't do on the other card is I'm going to attempt to pop this up. I just like the idea of it being popped up. So I'm going to get creative with my dimensionals here, because some of the dimensionals, I might be able to use some mini dimensionals on it. So let me try some mini dimensionals to start. And we'll put one here. I'll put it everywhere that I feel like I can get a mini dimensional in these bigger spots. So we'll put it here, here. Actually, I'm able to do more than I thought I was going to be able to do. And here, let me see, I think this might be a little bit too thick right there. So I need a couple of little small pieces, and this is almost used up. So I'm taking advantage of the edges, and I'm just gonna cut right along the edge here, and that's gonna give me a few strips. And so I'm going to take one strip, I think, see if I can fit that in there. Take one strip and I'm gonna put it on this D. So we'll put this down. Okay, I just like the idea of being able to pop this up. And then I'm gonna have to cut this a little bit smaller so that I can fit it into some other areas that we've got. I'm gonna use my tweezers to kind of help me get it to where I want it to go. So I'm thinking I probably want a strip here on my friend, the F part, and then got another one I'm gonna put on the other side. And I'm not gonna, cover all the word, but I've got some areas right here that I wanna get to, so I'm gonna start cutting, and the strips are working well for me, so I'm just gonna do some more strips. So we'll do that. And I think I need, let me see, can I get did I try to get a dimensional there? I might have tried, and then I said, no, it's not gonna work. Actually, I think I can probably get a dimensional there, and then we'll put a strip right along here. Let me take the backing off. Oh my gosh, I'm not seeing any hellos. I know it's summer now and you guys have a lot of things going on, and I'm hoping that that's the reason why you haven't said hello yet. So I'm not going to worry, but I am a little worried. Just because I don't know if I really am live or not. It says I'm live. It says I am. So I'm going to trust that. All right. Okay, let's put this one here. And I think I can put one more little one. Well, actually, I've got two I can put in here. A little bit more than I had planned, but that's okay. I want to make sure that my friend is supported. So let's put this one in here. That's perfect. And then I had one more right here that I wanted to put over here. And then the fun part will be taking all these little pieces off. But I want this one to go right there. Okay, so let's move this off to the side and let's start. Oh, I think I need to do one more. Isn't that just the way that it works? I'm looking at it and I'm like, there is no support on my eye. How sad is that? So I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to support my eye. And then I will be ready. All right, now I'm happy. Okay, so let's do this. And again, I didn't pop the other one up, so this is the first time I'm doing this, and this is just how I've decided to go about doing it. All right, so let's get these backings off. It's gonna take me a little bit longer to do this. Normally I can kind of just pluck my way through, so to speak, but this is just a little bit more involved. But I'll try to speed it up. I don't want to spend all my time just pulling backs off of dimensionals. I want to see what this card looks like. All right, almost there. Just a few more to go. Just a few more. Ruth! Hi, thank you for saying hello. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I was live or not, so I'm so grateful that you found me and you said hello. All right, now I feel better. Now I know that you guys can see me. All right, let's go ahead and turn this over. I'm gonna get these dimensionals out of the way, and we're gonna take this and I'm gonna lay it across my wheel. But I think what I want to do is, instead of it just being straight, I'm gonna kind of angle it a little bit. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I decided to go ahead and pop that up, because it really makes a difference. I'll show you here in just a second. Let's finish this up by adding some bling to the card, and I'm going to add just a few of these fun embellishments. They're called iridescent faceted gems, and they do come with the suite that we're featuring tonight. So let me go ahead and get this done, and then I will show you the difference in the two cards. Let me move this out of the way. So this is the card we just completed. How fun is that? And we popped up the friend. I don't know if you can see how the friend is popped up, but we've popped that up, where this one is just totally flat. There's no dimension to it, but I just feel like it makes a big difference to pop that up. I also like the idea that I changed the color scheme a little bit and decided to go with the blueberry bushel instead of the black. The black is pretty. It really makes the color pop, but I don't know. I wanted to try a different color. So anyway, card number 1. So let's go ahead and we're going to look at card number 2. And remember, I'm using the scraps from the first card when I cut out the wheel. So this is where the wheel came from, and then all I did was I took this and trimmed it down so that I can create the next card. And this is the next card that we're going to create. Again, we are utilizing the Spotlight on Nature dies. This time the dies that we're utilizing are the big one with the flowers, and then over on this side, maybe it's this one, they're little dashes and dots. So I utilized both of those. So let me pull that kit over. And let me see, I think it's this one. We're gonna use Berry Burst cardstock. I have a piece of white cardstock for the outside so that we could adhere our designer series paper. I also have a piece of white cardstock because we're going to go ahead and do the inside as well. And I'm going to take one of these and cut it in half, and we'll utilize it to decorate the inside as well. And then I've got one circle, and then I've got my second circle. The second one we're gonna actually stamp on. So let me move this out of the way just so that we can get our stamping done. Now, I tend to stamp on my Stampin' Pierce mat because these are photopolymer stamps, and there's no cushion to a photopolymer stamp. There's no cushion. So this helps to give me cushion. And I was looking for my my scrap paper to put under here, but I don't see it. I know it's here because I had it earlier, but I've obviously, oh, I know where it is. It's in my Stamparatus. One moment. I'm gonna pull it out of my Stamparatus. There we go, and now I can put it down here. And we're gonna stamp on top of this. All right, so I'm gonna start with the Thinking of You, and we're gonna stamp the Thinking of You in Berry Burst. So let's go ahead and open that up. And again, we're stamping on the smaller circle. I'm just double checking to make sure that I've got everything inked up. And I'm gonna stamp straight in the center, and I'm gonna go straight down and straight up. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I got a little ink. I tilted it just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Tilted it just a little bit, and I've got some ink up there. I'm not going to worry about it, but if you rock your stamp, you potentially could ink your label. So that's why I'm gonna go straight down. I'm not rocking. I'm gonna go straight down and straight up, and then I don't have to worry about it. Although it looks like maybe I got a little piece of ink. Okay, let me show you how we're gonna fix that. Let me get this cleaned off, and I'm gonna close my ink up. Honestly, I don't think it's anything that anybody's going to notice. It's just a little splotch, but even if you're straight up and straight down, sometimes you can actually bring the ink that's not on the stamp to your paper. So let me move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my mono eraser. This is a sandy eraser, and I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna start to do like little circles on my piece of cardstock. And I'm going to, you gotta be patient, it takes a little bit of time, but I'm gonna continue to sand away, and hopefully we're gonna be able to lighten and or minimize, if not, get rid of it completely. It just takes several times of sanding away before that's gonna go away. And honestly, it looks to me after doing this that maybe I've been able to lighten it just a little bit. It's not gone completely, and it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to. Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. The other thing that I will say is if you can erase it just as soon as you find your mistake, if you will, or your error, or that dab of ink, the sooner you erase, the easier it is to get it up. The longer the ink sits into the paper, the harder it is to get it up. But I'm still continue to work on it, and honestly, I didn't think I was going to be able to get it up, but gosh, this little dab of ink is now just barely there. I don't know if you guys can even see it. All right, but I'm going to continue stamping, and I think where I'm going to stamp probably is going to cover that up a little bit anyway, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the shaded spruce, and I am going to stamp my leaves. Now, some of my leaves are actually going to go over my sentiment, so I'm going to try to position them. Oh, look, I did it again. All right, my simple chamois, I'm just going to move that, and you can see I got my simple chamois in ink too. But it's just straight up and straight down. I'm I don't know, tilting just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna do this one first, and I'm gonna take it right underneath here. And let's see, probably about right there. So we've got that leaf. I'm gonna do it again. Straight up, straight down. Make sure I got good ink on it. And then I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna kind of tilt it a little bit this way and straight up, straight down. Okay, so now I've got my thinking of you. I wash off my stamp, close this down, and we're gonna start to build the card. So I'm gonna bring in my card base. My card base is the Berry Burst. We'll go ahead and fold this in half. All right. And then I'm gonna start to build this. So basically what's gonna happen, and I'm just gonna lay this out to see how I like it for now, but I'm going to, let me see, turn it this way. If I turn it this way, then I can line up my sunburst, I'm gonna call it, this way. And we're actually gonna put it on white, so we're not even putting it on the Berry Burst yet. But still, I'm trying to, let me see, I think I need the bigger one. Get this lined up. All right, there's a little bit of an edge. It's making me wanna go this way, I think. not as much edge as I thought that I would have, but I really can't trim it down much further, because if I trim it down much further, I'm not gonna have. So maybe what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna try to line this up. Maybe I didn't cut my cardstock, or I cut it a little bit more than I probably should have. So I'm just gonna take it edge to edge and do it like that. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. What I need to decide, I think I'm gonna do it like that. I was trying to decide if I wanted the blue side or the yellow side, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and with the yellow side. All right, hopefully you guys are following my train of thought. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna add some glue here. This is gonna be a little bit of a challenge because you can see how that is not very wide there. So we'll go ahead and put some here, little dots across the areas that are very thin. And I'm just gonna, thank goodness for my precision tip glue bottle. That's all I can say. It helps me to get into these little tight spaces. All right, so let me see, make sure I've got plenty enough glue. I mean, I don't want too much, but I still want to make sure I have enough. All right, let's go ahead and get this adhered down. So I'm gonna go edge to edge. So I'm just, which is actually gonna make it easy. Then I don't have to worry about making sure it's centered. I'm just gonna go edge to edge. So let me pick this up so that I can make sure I'm getting it edge to edge. And I'm just using my fingers to help make sure that I get there. Perfect. And now what I can do is I can take this piece and it is also going to go edge to edge. All right, so we'll put this one down here. And again, I'm just gonna pick it up and use my fingers to help slide it into place. It's going to go edge to edge, and then we will place this on the Berry Burst cardstock. I've got a little bit of a, I'm gonna turn it over. I had a little bit of a little bend here. I'll use my bone folder to straighten that out. Turn this over, and now I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this down. All right, get this centered where I want it. I'm gonna just kind of slide it into place. That's what I love about the glue, so I can slide my card into place where I want it. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll start building our wheels. So I'm going to put dimensionals on both of my wheels or my circles. I'm looking for my large dimensionals. I know they're here. Give me just a sec. Honestly, I do not know how I lose things in this little small space, but I do. All right, let's go ahead and get this down. This one, I don't need to worry about anything because it's just a blank wheel. All right, I think I don't want to get carried away with my dimensionals, but sometimes I do, I think. All right, let's go ahead and pop these off. That one's giving me grief. All right, and let's get this one centered. And I want to center right inside of this circle. Okay, we've got that. So pretty. All right, now this one is going to get centered inside of that circle, and we need to make sure it's turned straight up because it has our sentiment on it. So let me go ahead and get this down and pop these off. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to center this in the middle of this wheel. I think we got it. Yay, nice. Okay, we'll put the bling on in just a second. That's looking so pretty. We'll put the bling on in just a second. We're going to do the inside of the card. Now, I have to think about this because this piece is going this way this time, the way that it was cut. But I want to have one. I can do a couple of things. I can do one on one side, or I can split it in half and I can do two sides, which is kind of like what I did here, only we had long pieces. So I'm just thinking out loud. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut it. So I'm gonna bring our trimmer in. This is an inch wide strip. So I'm gonna go to 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna measure the 1/2 inch from this side. It's just easier for me to do it that way. And then I'm gonna make sure I get it in the right place. Place this down, and then we'll go ahead and cut that. All right, so now we've cut that in half. With my trimmer out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and put those on before I put that down. So we're gonna put one on this side, and I'm just double checking it again, and we're gonna put one on this side. Okay, I like that. So let's go ahead and get this down. And if I could get these lined up better, because I don't have it down on my card yet, so I can slide this around and go from edge to edge, use my fingers to kind of help guide it to the edge. And then we'll do this one as well. And we'll put this down here. Okay, we've got that. Let's go ahead and put it on the inside. Just lined up. All right, and we're gonna bring the bling back out again. If I can find it. Oh my goodness, where's my bling? Do you guys see it? It's almost becoming kind of, oh, wait a minute, maybe I put the, I put the stamp set on top of it. It's almost getting kind of funny in the sense that I keep losing this stuff. All right, let's see. Let's put one here in the red, so pretty. And then we're gonna come down and we're gonna jump over to this side, and then I'm gonna do another one. Let's actually go onto the card, or the sentiment itself. All right, don't get lost. All right, card number 2's done. They're basically the same, but a little bit different. You can see there's a lot more white showing in this one. I cut the base for this one so that there is white, but you're not seeing much of it. But basically I utilized the same, I was just making use of scraps. And so I utilized what was left over from creating this card to create this card. So that was fun. All right, let's bring out card number 3. This is going to be card number 3, and we're going to do it up a little bit differently. The first one I did in the shaded spruce. And I decided that this one I wanted to change up just a little bit. So I have my basic white cardstock, but this time we're going to use our Petunia Pop. The Petunia Pop is one of our new ink colors. Then I have, let's see what's going on here. I've got designer series paper, and I've got the Petunia Pop, then I've got the card base that's gonna go on here. And I may need to trim that down just a little bit. And then I've got the designer series paper, and the designer series paper, we're gonna trim this down as well. And it will go top to bottom, and then we'll go ahead and create another layer that will go on top here, and we're gonna stamp Hi Friend. So, actually I've got my card turned the wrong way. That's part of the reason why things aren't fitting. So anyway, let's go ahead and fold this in half to start. set that off to the side, and then I'm going to take my white cardstock, and I'm going to need to cut it down just a little bit. So let's look and see what it measures, because I do want some of that Petunia Pop showing through. So this is currently 5 and 3/8. 5 3/8. So I'm going to take this down to 5 1/4 on this end. And I'm going to take this down to, this is probably 4 1/8. So I'm going to take it down to 4. Take it off a little bit, not a lot. It's going to be a fine little border, but just enough that that pink Petunia Pop can show through. So now we've got that cut down, which is good. So let's go ahead and let's get this one adhered. And I think I'm also going to do a little bit of changing up. Not only did I change up the colors, but just how I kind of put the card together a little bit. So let's at least start getting our layers built. So we've got this layer. Perfect. And then I'm going to take my Designer Series paper, and it is going to need to be trimmed down. I want to trim it down to, let me think, I'm going to go down another 1/8 of an inch. So let's bring these back. And that was 4, so I'm going to go to 3 7/8. And I need to make sure that just doesn't look right. So this is, how long is it? It's 6 inches. Okay, so this is just a dent. So I do need to go to 3. It just seems like I'm cutting off an awful lot, which is scary, but I do need to go to, if this was, oh, no. This was 5, and I had 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3. I came down to 5 1/4, so I'm going to come down to 5 1/8. Does that sound better? I bet that sounds better. I was measuring from the wrong side. So 5 1/8. All right, 5 1/8. Yay. Scared you guys, didn't I? All right, we're going to take this one down to 5 1/8 as well. Okay. Perfect. All right, moving that out of the way, let's go ahead and get these adhered down. And then we will do our stamping. So let me do this. And we're going to come in just 1/8 of an inch on each side. I'm going to move it around just a little bit with my glue. Pick it up. There we go. Do the same thing with the bottom. Okay, I'll do this one. All right. Okay, so before we build this other layer, let's go ahead and stamp our Hi Friend. So I went ahead and mounted the Hi Friend to my block. And what I want to do is I'm going to stamp it in the Berry Burst, or not Berry Burst, we're going to stamp it in the Petunia Pop. And I don't really like the way, it's okay, but I want to change up where the ribbon is. So I'm going to work it so that I can try to get the ribbon off to the side. And I have to just decide which way I want to go with it. I think I want it on the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up. I got to bring my pad back in. And we're going to see how it works. Let's go ahead and get this inked up and stamped. To start, this is a pretty thick stamp. You can see how thick it is. So I want to make sure that I get it inked up good, well. I also see that I've gotten a little bit of ink on my block, and so I'm going to take my little chamois and I'm just going to clean that off. Looks a little splotchy to me, so I'm gonna do a practice and see if I like the way it's looking. Not bad. It is a little splotchy, but that'll add some interest also. So let me go ahead and we'll do this again, making sure I've got plenty of enough ink. And I can also see that I have gotten more on the edge. So I'm just gonna take my little chamois and wipe that off. And now let's go ahead and line this up towards the edge of this card. I need to center it and I need to bring it over as far as I possibly can. So I think we're gonna go right here with it. I'm gonna make sure I pressing firmly, not rocking, but just pressing firmly. I want that ink to transfer. A little splotchy, but it's fine. Like I said, sometimes splotch adds interest. You know, if we tried to add the splotch, we wouldn't be able to do it. So it's kind of nice when the stamp makes the decision and does it for you. All right. Let's move this out of the way. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Petunia Pop cardstock, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to adhere this down. I see I have green on my thumb. Obviously, I got my, oh, you know where, I bet I know where I got it. I got it from the ink pad. I am gonna try to wipe that off just a little bit, just because I don't want to transfer it to my card. But it came from my pad when I accidentally dropped it in there. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this iridescent ribbon, and I am actually going to see if I can get the ribbon to go on the side here, and I'm going to tie a bow. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. I want to make sure I have enough, and I can move it around, but I want to make sure I have plenty enough ribbon. So I'm going to take my ribbon snips and let's go ahead. Actually, I'm going to do what I've done in the past. If you guys remember, when I'm doing a ribbon on the card or a bow on the card, I need a little bit of help when it comes to holding it in place. So let me get this tightened up. I've got it twisted up a little bit. So I'm going to take a glue dot. I'm going to pull this back, use my take your pick, and pull that glue dot off of there. And then I'm going to kind of stick it right underneath here, and I'm going to push the ribbon down on it, and that will hold this while I tie my bow. So I've got a short end here, which is going to be fun to work with. I'm going to have to do some finessing, but we'll make it work. And then I'm going to tie my bow, and I'm just going to continue to work with it until I get it tight and how I want it. I may have to pick it up just a little bit. But we'll get it tight and almost there. There we go. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my ribbon snips and I'm gonna angle this one off. And this one's already pretty much angled off. So I could try to shorten it just a little bit. So let me do that. All right, we've got that. So now we're going to adhere this. I'm just moving it over just a little bit. It's adhered down. And we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. And we will adhere it to, I'm looking for my tweezers. We're going to adhere it to the main layer before we adhere it to the card base. So let's go ahead and we'll get dimensionals down here. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in the middle. I want to make sure it gets adhered well. And then sometimes I have issues with, I love my glue so much because I can move things around. I can kind of slide them around till I get things where they need to go. And when you're using dimensionals, obviously the dimensionals stick, and wherever you put it is pretty much where you have to keep it. So one of the things that you can do is you can take your glue and you can actually add some glue to the backs of your dimensionals. It doesn't mess anything up. Did I get the back of that one off? Nope, I didn't. So we'll just pull that one off while we're working on this. Let me move it off to the side here. But it gives me a little bit of flexibility to move things around. Plus, I still get my dimension. So let me go ahead and get glue here. And then I can move things around if I don't get it centered the way that I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and center this right about here on each side. I'm a little high. All right, I think I've got it. I think maybe I need to go just to the left. Oh, just a little bit. All right, let me look, see if I got it. I can kind of slide it around just a little bit. That looks good to me. All right, so we're gonna call it good right there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some additional dimensionals and I'm gonna pop up this back layer. It felt like the last card that I made, it felt like it just needed a, whoop, that was silly. That was the, the backing. I gotta go find that dimensional now. It felt like it just needed a little bit of dimension. It was, what do they call that, 2D? I don't know. So anyway, we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing. It makes me comfortable. You guys don't have to do this, but now that I know that I can put the glue on the back of these dimensionals, I don't have to worry about, if I don't happen to get it centered exactly right away. So I'm just gonna put just a little bit. I need just a little bit of wiggle room. And this helps me. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. And if any of you have issues with when you put your dimensionals down, it's stuck for good, then this is something that you might consider. All right, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let me just a slightest. Oh, what a pretty card. Okay, even though I didn't have bling on the other one, I'm kind of in a bling mood tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some additional bling here. So I'm gonna put one here, and I'm gonna put one here, and I'm gonna take the other one, and I'm gonna put it over here. All right, awesome. This is now card number 2, and you can see how I did them differently. I added my ribbon over onto the left of it versus just having a ribbon that was cut and placed there. But basically, again, I did it the same way, and I love the way that it turned out. So let me clean up my space here just a little bit. And this was card number 3 that we made. I'm gonna bring in card number 2 that we made, and this is the second card that we made. We didn't have the white border around the edge, but we did do the inside. And then this is card number 1 that we did, where we changed up the color, but the other thing we did is popped up the friend. And I'm telling you, popping up that friend, for me, really made a big difference. I'm so glad that I did that. How fun is that? So anyway, this is the Friends for Life bundle. We're utilizing the paper that comes with that. Friends for, what's the paper called? The paper is called Full of Life, and this paper is full of life for sure. But how fun. I actually want to take this Full of Life paper now and try to do something with the back side next time. So stay tuned for that. All right, let me come back to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for my Facebook Live. Next week, I will be in Boston. So I just earlier, prior to this Facebook Live, recorded my Facebook Live for next Thursday. So I will have it posted and ready for you to go. So please plan to join at 7 p.m. It will go live. Only it's recorded, and then of course it will be up on Facebook. And as always, it's very helpful if you guys could like and share both on Facebook and on YouTube. Remember, again, this is a to-go class, so if you are interested in the kit, I will cut the kit for you. You'll get the paper, but I can't do any stamping for you. And so just keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you at least have the bundle so that you can create the cards exactly like I have. If not, just the colors in themselves are pretty. And so you might have something in your library that you can utilize for this kit. All the information is on my website at aprildaviscreations.com. And certainly if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So again, thank you so much. I'll miss you next week, but I'll catch up with you guys live again when I'm back from Boston the following week. So take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.